Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're jumping into a really interesting concept, finding your center.
Hmm.
Our source is this book, dedicated to the author's parents, from Dreamcatcher Publishing House. And it kicks off with this pretty bold idea that, well, nothing's just chance.
Right, that everything stems from our thinking. That's a powerful premise.
It really is. And it's framed as, knowledge used by the world's greatest thinkers,
Hmm.
supposedly now shared to help us understand our own minds, conscious and subconscious.
A kind of awakening, as the book puts it.
Exactly. So, for you listening, the mission for this deep dive is basically to get a handle on those first steps towards maybe better mental well being by
Mhm.
understanding this finding your center idea from chapter one.
Okay, so that core idea, thoughts shaping reality, it's definitely compelling. The source really draws a direct line between our inner state and, well, everything else.
Yeah, it does. It's positioned as the key, isn't it, to balance fulfillment, that beautiful awakening you mentioned.
Precisely.
And the first chapter dives right into balance, finding that middle ground, mind, body, life, avoiding those wild emotional swings, the extremes. Yeah. And it suggests, which I find interesting, that if we consciously connect with this center, we can handle life's storms better. It even ties success and failure together, like they're two sides of the same coin. What do you make of that center as an anchor?
Well, the anchor metaphor works, I think. It suggests stability, right?
Yeah.
Something solid inside when everything outside feels chaotic. Think about those times you just feel totally overwhelmed. If you have that awareness, that internal reference point,
Like a grounding point.
exactly, you can ground yourself instead of just getting thrown around by, whatever's happening or how you're feeling.
Okay, so the book gives some pointers on how to actually do that.
Mhm.
One thing that jumped out was listening to emotions, like really listening, not just stucking them down. How vital is that, do you think?
Oh, it's got to be foundational. Ignoring feelings. It's like ignoring a dashboard warning light, isn't it?
Huh. Yeah, good analogy. It doesn't fix the engine.
Right. And the problem often just gets worse. So, acknowledging them, trying to understand them, that gives you crucial info for making, balanced choices, addressing what's really causing the imbalance.
Makes sense. Then there's the bit about limiting beliefs,
Yeah,
recognizing them, challenging them. It
yeah,
feels like we all have those invisible fences we put up.
we absolutely do.
How does being centered help take those down?
Well, when you're more centered, you're perhaps less caught up in the usual mental chatter. You have a bit more space for self reflection.
Okay.
So, from that calmer place, you can look at those beliefs more, maybe objectively, question if they're actually true or helpful, and then consciously choose something different, more empowering. It's like shifting gears from just reacting to reflecting.
Shifting gears. I like that. The chapter also talks quite a bit about desires, understanding them, but not letting them run the show, even breaking addictions. That feels like a tricky balance beam to walk.
It is a fine line, absolutely. But the source seems to suggest the key is awareness and conscious choice.
Right.
It's not about squashing every desire that's probably not realistic anyway, but understanding where they come from and how they might, knock you off balance. A centered perspective helps you rationally assess them, figure out what nourishes you versus what just leads to more trouble.
Okay, so pulling these threads together,
Mhm.
emotional awareness, challenging beliefs, managing desires,
Mhm.
and the book also stresses cultivating a positive mental space, hope, serenity, letting go of things like greed and hatred. It suggests our perception literally creates our reality.
Yeah.
How do all these pieces work together for finding your center?
Well, I think the idea is that collectively they build inner harmony, resilience. When you understand and manage your internal world, thoughts, feelings, once you become less pushed around by external
That's
stuff.
reactive.
Exactly. That inner stability, that's the center. It lets you navigate life with more clarity, maybe more purpose, a
Fun.
sense of equilibrium, which ultimately leads back to that beautiful awakening the source keeps mentioning.
So let's quickly recap the core idea then. Finding your center is fundamentally about balanced mind, body, life, avoiding those emotional extremes. It involves conscious awareness, riding out storms, and seeing success and failure as linked.
Hmm. And the strategies involve listening to emotions, not suppressing them, challenging limiting beliefs, understanding desires without being ruled by them.
Right? Cultivating positive thoughts, freeing the mind from negativity like greed, recognizing how perception shapes things, doing things that actually bring joy.
And being aware of dangerous desires, questioning your thoughts and feelings, making conscious choices for balance, managing arousal triggers like anger. That 5-second breath technique is
Oh,
mentioned.
yeah, the inhale, exhale.
Yeah.
And it talks about experiencing a kind of trance like state when centered, leading to relaxation, developing willpower against those cardinal desires that cause imbalance.
Heightening awareness of your senses too, thinking rationally instead of just reacting.
Yeah.
Letting go of resentment, that's a big one.
Yeah.
Identifying root issues, traumas, while also acknowledging some things are outside our control.
And drawing awareness to our own faults, making efforts to address them, seeing challenges as growth opportunities, purifying the mind through cultivation and acceptance, connecting mind, body, spirit for that blissful experience.
And tapping into intuition, which it calls a sense you experience when centered, using focus, discipline, facing adversity with a tamed mind, being content, using tools like deep breathing, relax, relate, release.
Okay, a lot packed in there. So, for you, the listener, to wrap this up, here's something to think about. What single imbalance in your life, if you started addressing it by trying to find your center, might spark the most significant, beautiful awakening for you? And maybe what's just one small thing you could do today, even right now, to become a little more aware of your own thoughts and feelings? That's our deep dive for today.